Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft. Here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Good morning. I'm feeling doing well.
I tried to warn you about my Cowboys. I tried to warn you about your Ravens. And speaking of Dallas, how about them Cowboys? Woo!
My sister called me late.
Show's over. I'm done. That's all I needed.
You know what my sister did? My sister stayed up. It was like 11:45. She called me last night. Skip gonna get you.
Oh, no. Skip.
Am I? Condolences and good luck.
I thought we were cool, Skip. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We brothers.
We're real cool, because I'm real cool today.
Okay.
I'm on fire.
I have missed these Mondays. Cowboy win Mondays. It always gets interesting around here. You had a good weekend, Skip. Your Sooners, the Cowboys. We will get to last night's crazy duel between Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes in just a few minutes. We got to start with the Cowboys. After throwing it all over the field week one, Dallas kept feeding Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard yesterday. The rushing duo combined for 180 yards and 2 touchdowns, despite not throwing any TDs. Dak Prescott orchestrated an 11-play drive to kick a game-winning field goal as time expired as the Cowboys beat the Chargers 20-17. So, Shannon, I will start with you. Scale of 1 to 10, how impressive were the Cowboys?
My old college jersey number, 2.
2?
That's all they get.
What game were you watching?
I watched the game that you watched.
Well, what TV were you watching?
You first of all.
Wait a second. I got to ask. Can you go buy like a Cowboy hater TV
No.
that shows you a different game like they lucked into it?
That's exactly. You mentioned it. See, you already knew. You know that was. Skip, look. The Chargers gave this game away. They had 2 TDs called back by penalties, cost them 11 points. When you look at it, they had 12 penalties for 99 yards. 11 of those penalties were on the offensive side of the football. The Chargers had 7 drives. Now, normal NFL game, there's normally about 11 drives. They had 7 drives. All of those 7 drives reached at least the 35-yard line of the Cowboys. If they kick field goals on all the drives, they win the ball game 21-20.
Oh.
So,
that's a landslide.
No. But they would have won the game. It wouldn't have been a landslide. But, Skip, they had 2 touchdown call back with the perceived. And I think that's what drives a coach crazy, Skip. It's the pre-snap penalties. Holding, the one Jerry Cook got on Wolf Hunter, Skip, that was a holding. I mean, a couple of those calls, they were very, very obvious. Okay, I got no problem with that. You saved your quarterback. You didn't take the proper steps. Your technique wasn't good, and it got you in trouble from the start. Okay, I get those. But, Skip, the illegal shifts, the illegal formations, the pre-snap penalties, you got to be better than that. You got to be, and the Cowboys are doing everything they possibly could to give you the game, especially that last drive. But that's neither here nor there. Skip, the Cowboys got up to a great start. 14 points in the first quarter. 13 first downs, a 15-play drive, 7 minutes to start the game. And I'm like, man, are you serious? And then all of a sudden, the Chargers settle in, and even though it was, the Cowboys get 14 points in the first half, in the first quarter. Skip, they only gave up 6 points over the last 3 quarters. So the game was right there for the Chargers to take. But it was those self-induced penalties that cost them the ball game. You can't do those things. You take 2 touchdowns off the board. You can't take big plays off the board. So for me, I'm going to give them the 2. And I only gave them the 2 because they won. Because they weren't overly impressive to me. Justin Herbert outplayed your guy. And you know it too, Skip Bayless. You know it. Don't you sit up here, don't look at that stat sheet. But that's okay. You know what today?
I see one guy's QBR, my guy's was 42, your guy's was 34. So QBR says Dak outplayed Justin Herbert.
42? You have it with a 42?
Well, it's not great, but it was good enough in the end to win the game. And by the way, my guy on the final drive went 5 for 5, and that equals $75 million man. He lived up to his money.
All I'm saying
Thank you.
I gave you a 2, but I thought the Chargers did a lot of damage, self-inflicted damage that cost them to lose the ball game. It's your day. Enjoy your day.
Yeah.
Everybody has one, but your day is coming.
And now it is my turn. I thought about giving my team a 10 for this, but a 10 would have been beating Tom Brady at Tampa Bay on opening Thursday night. So that forces me back 1 notch to a 9. This was a 9 on a scale of 10 when it comes to victories, because I told you all week it was against all odds. What happened all week long? What drove me nearly to the edge of the cliff? Every day, every hour, I looked at my phone and we lost somebody else. We lost another starter to injury or to COVID or to suspension, to the point that we were down 5 starters on defense alone. We lost both our bookend defensive end pass rushers. We were without our safety, Donovan Wilson. I can go on and on. We were without our right tackle, Lyle Collins. And by the way, our stand-in right tackle, I didn't hear his name called. Did you hear anything about Terrence Steele?
They did a great
I think the man of steel held up pretty well, didn't he? And we were without Michael Gallup, and I can go on and on. And this is the kind of what can go wrong, will go wrong for my team that would have crushed my team's spirit last year or the year before when we missed the playoffs. And somehow I told you that this team has a new fight to it. It has a new spirit. It got launched out of Hard Knocks. And I told you Dak is back. He's 100% healthy, and he is living up to the $75 million because the pressure is off for him to compete against Jerry Jones in a contract impasse to finally get the respect he deserves. He was crumbling under the pressure to win the contract. Now he is skyrocketing without any pressure on his shoulder pads after he got paid and finally got rewarded for what he has achieved for this franchise. So all of a sudden, when the pressure was highest yesterday, he was at his greatest. And I look at my team, and I told you, this is the wounded tiger theory, where you have to just rise up and everybody has to play a little bit over their means. And that it's an old theory from the early NBA days that I covered back in the 1970s. Beware the regular season team that seems like it has no chance because of injuries or suspensions or COVID. And here we came right out of the gates, as you just said. We went 78 yards in 15 plays. That didn't happen. Dak was on a historic pace of throwing for 1 billion yards on 1 billion completions, as we talked about on Friday over the last 5 games, and they were lucky to win 1 of the 5 games.
Right.
It took a lucky watermelon onside kick against Atlanta for them to pull that game out 40-39. And it was because Dak always started slowly, and they dug holes they couldn't dig back out from under. The point was they took it right down the Chargers' throats without, just completely undermanned, with no chance. They took it all the way home, 75 yards, 78 yards, 15 plays, and all of a sudden it's 7-0. And before the first quarter ended, you mentioned it, we piled up 13 first downs. Do you realize that tied an all-time NFL record for the first quarter? Is that not flipping the script from the way we used to start games, where we'd fall tragically behind and not be able to, and Dak would throw for 1,000 yards in the fourth quarter that you would dismiss as empty calories? Am I right?
They were.
Okay, so here they came. And what did I predict on Friday? I said, we will balance it up. 50-50 run pass, and I even underestimated that. Do you realize that we ran it 31 times and we threw it only 27 times? The Dak Prescott who threw 58 passes at Tampa Bay, while we ran it only 18 times, just threw it 27 times. That's less than half what he threw at Tampa Bay. Do you realize we actually ran the ball 31 times? And do you realize that my little man, Tony Pollard, who I keep telling you has a gear that Zeke just doesn't have anymore, do you realize he went 13 times for 109 yards? It was the breakout star of the game, right? And do you realize that a man that you loved before the draft even more than I did, Micah Parsons, what did I say? What did I predict had to happen on Friday? I said he has to put his hand in the, so to speak, dirt. He has to get down in a stance as a defensive lineman, a defensive end, a pure pass rusher. What did they do right from the start? They just put him right down, and they moved him all over the line, but they put him down at Randy Gregory or DeMarcus Lawrence, or even sometimes from the middle. He was wreaking havoc. as he said after the game, there are a lot of tired guys over there trying to block me. And that is exactly right. Sometimes they blocked him at the expense of somebody else getting loose.
Well, the thing was, Skip, is what they did. They found a weak link. The right tackle, Bulaga was out,
gone.
and they put the backup in there, and he wore him out. He was inside, outside, spinning him like a top.
Okay, so we wind up with 198 yards rushing. Who saw that coming?
No.
A team that is just pass happy to the point of being pass nutty, right? Mm-hmm. We ran the football right down their throats. We took control of the game early, and then we took back control of the game late. That's how you win games on the road. My quarterback won for the first time in 7 road games. He was 0-6 in his last 6 road games, and he finally broke through and deserved to win this one because he took it over late. And here's a little stat for you. My team is now 25-0 under Dak Prescott as a starter when they run